Welcome. The post-apocalyptic world fascinates, terrifies, and makes us think deeply. American cinema has been crafting unforgettable productions that take us to the brink of civilization's end. In this list, we'll uncover the best post-apocalyptic movies and series, showcasing how humanity struggles in a world of chaos and danger. A captive state. In the world of the future, humanity is no longer free. For the past 10 years, alien invaders have ruled the Earth, forcing people to obey them. Cities are overrun by brutal occupation troops, and every move is tracked. Fear hangs in the air, and daily life goes on under constant surveillance, where the slightest act of defiance can end in death. People have been divided. Some collaborate, believing in false promises of safety, while others fight in the underground resistance, risking everything in a desperate attempt to regain freedom. The dark streets, gray buildings, and blank stares of the residents create an atmosphere of suffocating nightmare. Somewhere in the shadows of this oppression, a rebellion is born, but the price for betrayal is unimaginable. In this world, everyone is suspect, and trust has become a death trap. Humanity stands on the brink, and hope seems only a distant memory. Cloverfield Lane 10. After a dramatic car accident, a young woman wakes up in an underground shelter, chained to a wall. Her savior, Howard, claims to have rescued her from a global annihilation that has made the Earth's surface uninhabitable. Confused and terrified, Michelle doesn't know if she can trust her tormentor or if he is her only chance for survival. Also in the shelter is Emmett, a young man who confirms Howard's version, but are his intentions sincere? As tensions rise, Michelle begins to question everything she hears and decides to get to the surface at all costs, not knowing what awaits her there. C. In a world shrouded in darkness, humanity has lost the gift of sight, becoming a prisoner of blindness for hundreds of years. Civilization has collapsed, and people live in fear, guided by instinct and reflex, creating brutal societies where survival depends on strength and cruelty. In this dark landscape, twins are born who are endowed with the extraordinary gift of sight, an ability that can be both a blessing and a curse. Their existence becomes a threat to a world where the authorities fear a new order. The rulers of fanatical sects are pursuing the children's family, believing that seeing is a heresy and a threat to their power. Bloody wars and conspiracies break out in this horror-filled reality where every step is a trap and every rustling sound could be the last you hear. Darkness fills every corner, but the greatest monster is man, ready to destroy everything he doesn't understand. Oblivion. In the year 2077, after a devastating war with aliens, Earth has become a wasteland. Jack Harper, a drone repair technician, patrols the desolate planet, unaware of his true identity. His mission is nearing its end, and memories of a mysterious woman in his dreams are becoming more and more insistent. When he rescues a woman from a wrecked spaceship, he discovers that she is Julia, his wife from years ago. Soon, Jack discovers the terrifying truth. He is not the only double, and his entire reality is an illusion created by aliens. The fight for survival becomes not only a fight for life, but also to regain his lost identity. I think we're alone now. Amid the ruins of an extinct world, a lone man lives in quiet harmony with the apocalypse. Dell is the sole survivor, and his days are filled with monotony, searching deserted houses, burying the dead, keeping order in the empty town. The silence surrounding him is almost palpable, and loneliness becomes his inseparable companion. But this peaceful routine is interrupted when a mysterious girl named Grace appears. Her presence shatters order and raises questions that Dell would rather not ask. Where did she come from? Why is she here? With her appearance, secrets of a frightening reality come to light. The apocalypse may not be accidental, and what destroyed humanity may still be lurking in the dark somewhere. Every moment with her brings Dell closer to the truth that will chill his blood. Loneliness was not at all the worst thing that could happen to him. For 2073. In the year 2073, humanity stands on the brink of extinction. Surveillance drones pierce the skies, and militarized troops patrol the streets, while the remnants of survivors hide underground, trying to remember a time of freedom and hope. In this terrifying vision of the future, director Asif Kapadia weaves together elements of science fiction and documentary, showing a world where our worst fears have become reality. Samantha Morton plays a survivor haunted by nightmares of the past, our present, depicted through contemporary footage showing global crises, authoritarianism, out-of-control technology, inequality, and climate catastrophe. The Stand. In a world engulfed in chaos, a mysterious virus known as Captain Trips is destroying humanity, leaving millions of dead bodies in its wake. Those who survived become participants in an unsettling struggle between good and evil. As the silence after the apocalypse is broken only by screams of madness, a dark figure, Randall Flagg, known as the Dark Man, enters the scene, attracting those who crave power and chaos. His red eyes hide the promise of eternal darkness. On the other side appears Abigail, an elderly woman of unnatural calm who leads the remnants of humanity in the fight for survival. But the boundaries of morality are blurring, and any choice can lead to death. As dark forces and dreams become reality, the survivors must face their deepest fears in a world where the shadows are thicker than ever. Light of my life. The world has been plunged into darkness after a catastrophic epidemic that wiped out almost all women. In this ominous landscape, a survivor wanders with his daughter, hiding her identity as if she were the most precious treasure. Every day is a struggle for survival. Every person he encounters is a potential threat. The world has become full of savage, desperate men who will do anything to take over what is left. A father tries to protect his child, but fear constantly casts a shadow over their escape. Nature seems to be recovering, but humanity is descending into chaos, where morality has been buried. Their journey is a test of love, courage, and the limits a person is able to cross to protect what is most important to them. Every moment becomes a balancing act, where the smallest mistake can cost lives. Elysium. In a world divided by unimaginable disparities between wealth and poverty, people on Earth live in the shadow of a majestic space station, where a select few bask in luxury and immortality. The rest of humanity, relegated to a devastated planet, struggles to survive amid the rubble and disease. The air is poisoned, and every day is a game for life. The main character, Max, determined by his own tragedy, becomes an instrument of rebellion to penetrate this inaccessible utopia. Equipped with a brutally mounted exoskeleton, he becomes a fighting machine, ready to sacrifice everything to gain the key to survival, even if it means confronting the ruthless guardians of Elysium. This place is not a paradise, but a lie woven from fear and desperation that forces man to face inhumanity. The Divide. As the world burns in a nuclear inferno, a group of survivors hurriedly take shelter in the basement of a skyscraper, turning their refugee into a suffocating prison full of growing madness. In the confined space, surrounded by the bodies of victims and contamination, they begin to discover that the real danger lurks not outside, but in their own minds. Stress, hunger, and fear lead them to the edge of humanity, where the remnants of morality disappear and violence becomes a daily occurrence. Divided by their own demons, they become monsters to each other, worse than what killed millions on the surface. Brutality and desperation fill every nook and cranny of the basement, transforming it into an arena of torture, betrayal, and unimaginable cruelty. Is it survival or the slow oblivion of humanity? In this claustrophobic hell, there are no more heroes, only destroyed shadows of the former people. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the American vision of the post-apocalypse. I hope you found something that caught your eye. If you enjoyed this list, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to stay updated on future rankings. See you in the next video.